Hello, world, and welcome to our podcast where two pals with different viewpoints and thoughts who really don't know much fly by the seat of their pants, discussing news, politics, conspiracy theories, and much, much more. One's a genius, the other's an idiot. Or are they both idiots?
Or are they both geniuses?
You be the judge. Now, live from beautiful Central Florida, it's Political No Brainer. Your host to your right and supremely right, it's me, Zach. And to your left
Supremely.
and very left, out. He's like in middle school and kickball, he's left out.
I was left out in kickball. I was good
It's
at
Coach.
dodgeball.
It's Coach Trippi. You were good at dodgeball?
I liked it.
I don't think so. I think that's why you got a messed up eye.
That maybe.
You got
She
donked
once
with.
asked me if I had a blood trauma to my eye, and
You
I
got
did.
that big red ball. Remember
That's
that thing with the big red
yes.
ball and the
It was
sound
just
it
a
would
part
make
of a
when it
Facebook
donked
meme
you?
I just read.
It would
I just
donk
saw
you.
somebody post it. It was
Oh
a
my
solid rubber
gosh.
ball. Red. It was always red. It was a rule. It had to be red.
Yes. So, how you been, Trip?
I've been great. How about you?
I'm fabulous.
You know
It
what
was
yesterday was?
well, your birthday. Happy birthday.
Yesterday was my birthday. It was a great day, beautiful
You are
day.
an old man
Oh
now.
yes.
How many
Oh
candles did you
yes.
blow out?
Well, I blew out seven to I blew I blew out seven, but it would should have been 57, but we
You would have melted the cake in the house or burned down. And
yeah, it would have been a lot.
my birthday's next month,
Really, and you'll be 57.
56. I'm
56.
always younger. You're always my
Yes.
elder. So
I
does that mean I
am
got to
your elder.
respect you?
And you're wiser.
I'm a Weisenheimer, maybe. I was just going through Facebook and nostalgia was kicking in because Ozzy got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I was like, that's about time. I know he got inducted with Black Sabbath, but now he got inducted as a solo artist, which is
I think that
phenomenal.
what he was part of the cancer culture before the cancer culture even existed. When he ate that canary on stage,
Canary, it was a bat.
it was bat, was it?
It was
Okay.
a bat.
Well,
Why would
I
it?
didn't
I
know
mean, who
that.
cares
I
about
thought
a
it was a
canary?
canary.
No, it was a bat. He
It
thought
was
it
a
was a
bat.
rubber bat. Someone threw it on stage, and he thought it was a rubber bat and bit the head off, and then realized, oh, this
But
is.
that's when you can just preface that things have always been the same. There was a cancer culture back then. It was just didn't have a uh name and closure.
He actually I think he was on tour with Motley Crue and a bunch of other ones. I think they went to Russia. I can't remember, but the story is they were trying to one up each other, and he was at the pool and he knelt down and there was a line of ants and he snorted the whole line of ants, and everybody's like, "We're
Oh,
done. We ain't messing with you." He's
ah,
the madman,
them damn things can hurt.
right? Could you imagine snorting fire ants?
I couldn't imagine, but I was a landscaper, and
And I don't know that he
I
snorted fire ants, but it was just ants. But whatever. The
answer
story,
can
I think
be.
Nikki Sixx sells it or Tommy Lee. One of my, I heard it. I saw it was in their movie. They were talking about it. Oh, no, no, no. It was in their a documentary. Oh, crap. I just realized my wall cracked. All right. Anyway,
Probably from all the construction.
yeah, 100%. It's exactly where they were doing it. So I got to take a
Yeah,
picture and send it to the guy.
tell them to come fix
It's
it.
the first time I've been in my office since my house was getting
I know now
refurbished.
it looks beautiful.
It does. I'm so glad to be home. It's like 3 weeks we lived in an Airbnb. Out of those 3 weeks, 5 days we actually had to stay here because the hurricane came and the Airbnb lost power and it's on a well and the well doesn't get power.
Water, which I experienced in J, Georgia, when we stayed in the cabin.
That's right. You guys were out in the ding 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 ding.
It was fabulous.
um so we did that and yeah, it was you know, I gotta admit it. I have total empathy and I don't have empathy or sympathy. It's like two of the things God didn't give me, but I feel bad for those people up in North Carolina and Tennessee all who got hit by what was that storm?
That was called Milton, wasn't it?
No, Milton hit us. What was the storm that
Helen.
hit?
Helen.
Huh?
Helen?
Helen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Helen.
Helen.
What kind of Helen? My aunt was Helen. She was like 100 years old. And Milton. What kind of name is Milton? What kind of storm? I'm not scared of no Milton. I actually heard a guy.
Milton was
I heard a comedian was talking about his dad lives down in Tampa, and he was just like, Hey, Dad, you got to get out of there. A storm. He's like, what kind of storm named Milton's gonna do anything to us? I ain't scared of no Milton.
You
So
know, I had a friend named Milton. He was a good friend of mine, and he lived in Micanopy, which is near Ocala,
I know where Micanopy is.
and
I've
that is
driven
where
through
they
it.
filmed
Isn't there
Doc
a jail out
Hollywood.
there?
There is a jail out there, but
Caldwell, right? Or
that's
Caldwell?
actually I think it's a juvie jail.
No, no, no. The big jail on that
Oh, right, right, right.
road
Yeah,
on before 75, Caldwell
when I
or
was a
something.
Terminex guy, I serviced them all. But
That's right.
Micanopy,
You liked going to the prison, didn't you? Did they give you some prison wine while you were there?
you know,
Toilet
again,
wine.
another one of my stories behind the Lake Ridge Winery, right
There's a
here in
prison there.
Clear,
I've been there.
the
I
prison
went
for the
there to
criminally
move.
insane.
I went there to move the when I worked for the moving company. I went there to do an estimate for the warden. He was getting moved to another jail down in I want to say Auburndale.
Yeah, they bounce around.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
live
yeah.
on property.
Right. And it was him and I think the assistant warden lived they were it was like a duplex. They lived next door to
Yes,
each other. Yeah, yeah.
yes. I
Yeah,
Terminex
so
their units.
I
But
had to
you want to hear
drive
something absolutely insane
other than the people
is
that were in that
they
prison.
have kids and they live on property.
Yeah, I know. You know, that was kind of like back when I was married to my first wife 100 years ago. I was friends with a guy by the name of Michael Pinter. Does that name ring a bell?
I do. He used to own Clubwana.
His dad owned Club One, exactly.
Clubwana.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been around, I've been in this town my whole life. I
Yeah,
mean,
and they loved me. They thought I would. This is when I was working for the one of those chicken restaurants, you know. And they used to come in there and get tuned up and eat wings and try and slap my servers and anyway, they were good people, but his old man really, really liked me and he's like, I got a job for you. He's like, I got a place that I think you'll love. You live up above it and it's a condo above the place and it's down in the Keys and it was called Woody's Bar and Grill.
oh, yeah.
And I
I
actually
think we
was
walked
looking
by it
into
one
it.
time.
I think I was looking into it and I was talking to my ex-wife about it and she's like, this sounds amazing. Like we'll live in the Keys and we'll live above it and you'll be making great money and blah, blah, blah. And then we started talking more and she goes, wait a second.
You're gonna live above a bar.
It's a strip club.
Right.
She's like, how do you explain that to your parents?
How do you explain that to your kids?
That was the next question. I was like, they were babies then. Emily and Andrew were just wee little babies.
I've been at okay, so first of all, it's the prison, they call it the prison for the criminally insane. That's basically politically correct for saying the prison for sex offenders. And I have literally seen the school bus pick up the warden's children for
Well, they gotta
school.
go to school.
Living on prison grounds, and it's just for me. I wouldn't want that job or that
No,
life or that house.
no, 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 no. And what about living above a strip club and your kids are walking out to
I
go to
can't
school?
imagine. I can't
So
imagine.
what's your dad do? Oh, you know, he works.
You know the old story about career day when it was COVID, the parents didn't come in and talk about their careers. The kids used to tell them what their dad did, and this one kid said, "My dad strips down naked for men." And they
Okay.
called that poor child in the principal's class in the principal office. They said, "What in the world?" He said, "No, I was just too embarrassed to tell him everybody my dad plays for the Yankees."
I was gonna say, are the Dallas Cowboys? Yeah, yeah, I've heard it. I've heard it. But the Yankees are in the World Series, by the way.
Yeah, but I would like to see the Mets in the World
That would
Series.
have been good, though. Subway Series, Mets and
Subway
Yankees.
Series, or no, just not the Yankees, just the Mets, but a Subway Series would have been.
So in 1950, I don't know what year it was. I'd have to look. I still have the ticket. My dad went to the Brooklyn Dodgers versus the New York Yankees in the World Series Subway
See,
Series.
now those were the
They had
days, my
one ticket.
friend.
My dad would go in for an inning. My mom would go in for an inning. My dad would go back in, and
That
they got to watch
oh,
a game.
those were the days.
And the ticket, I still have the ticket. It was like $2.22 or something. I don't know. It was ridiculous, but I have the ticket somewhere. But yeah, they went to the World Series in New York when it was the Boston Dodgers or the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Yankees.
So I used to tell this story about when we were kids. We used to take the whole family, my parents, my brother.
Wait, you're a
Take
Mets
this.
fan?
I love the
So
Mets.
are you a Jets fan?
No, because they moved to New Jersey.
So do the Giants.
I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm a Florida guy. I I
Okay.
love the Dolphins. I'm a
My dad
Florida
was Mets.
guy.
Here's the crazy thing. My dad was diehard Mets, and he
Die
was a
hard.
Giants fan, which everybody said that didn't make sense because it's usually Mets and Jets and Giants and Yankees. But
Me and my wife were staying in Manhattan one time, go downstairs from the hotel, and across the street was a theater, and Denzel Washington was doing Shakespeare for 1 week. Come out and say hi to everybody. Well, we didn't sit through Denzel Washington doing Shakespeare. Well, we stood in front of the police barricades to take a glance at Denzel, come say hi to us.
did you
And
meet
he was
him?
wearing a big old Yankees hat, baseball cap. So that's a great cap, Denzel. Too bad you ruined it putting that Yankees logo on it.
Did he
And
hear
he
you?
chuckled.
Oh, did
He found me funny. I said,
he
ah,
said he said my Egyptian.
what he say in
My
training day? My nigga.
yeah, I don't know if you can say that on. That's not politically
My
correct. But then
We're
again,
gonna
we're
be a
not
part of the
politically
cancer
correct.
culture with that one.
You're getting canceled. Actually, I'm getting phone calls as we speak right now.
Yeah, right now there
Take him
comes the
off the air.
comments.
Yank him.
There comes the
Here
comments.
comes he's a Yankees fan. Yankees. He's a Mets fan. I don't care. Let me tell you what. Here's a funny story. I met my wife August of 2011. That October, the Texas Rangers and the St. Louis Cardinals were in the World Series. I'm a Rangers fan. She's a Cardinals fan. Tell me that wasn't a test right from the beginning.
Yeah, and you
But
made it.
yeah, I'm
You
not
made it
that.
through the rain.
I'm not that big of a fan. So really, now
I'm
if she
not
had
that
been,
big a
look,
fan, but
look, if she had been an Eagles fan and I'm a Cowboys fan,
yeah, there's a
I dated a girl
rivalry.
actually one time who was an Eagles fan, and we didn't make it through football season. Let's just say
There's a rivalry.
we
No,
went
no,
to.
I'm a,
She took me to a Philadelphia Soul game, which was the Arena Football League in Philadelphia.
that was fun time. That was fun
That yeah,
games.
Bon Jovi owned it. Bon Jovi and somebody else, I forget.
Fun.
And we're driving through the parking lot, and some guy was selling Dallas Sucks shirt or something. And I was like, "Look at this schmuck." She's like, "You want me to drop you off and let everybody know you're a Dallas fan?" I was like, "No,
No, I'll
they would
stay
have
in the
murdered. Yeah,
car.
Philly's not the city of brotherly love at all.
No, no,
They
no.
would have murdered me,
They would
murdered."
have. They would have.
So hey, listen, I got a couple things I want to touch on. Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
They would have stomped. There would have been no. I would have fought, but I would have lost. I bet. Funny story. I went up to visit. I was dating my girlfriend Denise, in Jersey many years ago. I go up to visit her, and for Christmas, she gets me a Cowboys hat and a Cowboys jersey and my big leather. And anyway, I'm flying home, and I'm wearing my Cowboys jersey and hat, and I'm walking through the airport at Philly, and everybody's flipping me off, telling me to f off, and I'm like, what the heck? And there's a guy behind the counter, and he's like, bro, close your jacket and take your hat off. I was like, oh, he's like, did you forget where you were? I was like, I did.
Violence
He's like, you're gonna get
everywhere.
murdered.
You're
Like,
gonna get killed.
yeah. So, and
Philly.
I worked for the Cowboys, and
Yeah.
when I was with them, look, Eagles and Giants would play, and they'd have problems in the stands, of course. Boys would have a couple too many toddies, and you talk junk to a Cowboys fan, you're gonna get in a fight. But for the most part, you could walk through the stadium wearing an Eagles shirt. Yeah, you're gonna get, you suck, blah blah blah. You walk into Philadelphia Stadium wearing a Cowboys jersey, you are
It's
getting,
steel.
unless you got like 10 guys with you roll deep, you're getting in a brawl the whole
They
way
got
from the parking lot all the way back
right.
to the parking lot.
That's the north though. That's up
It's the
north.
only stadium in America that they have a jail and a judge on duty during the game. So when you get arrested, they take you right down in front of the judge and lock you up.
Really?
Yeah. City of Brotherly Love, my ass.
The
There's no
judge is there
love from
till
them brothers, that's for sure. And I got no love for them. Lorianne will tell you every time we drive back to Jersey when I drive through Philly, I'm giving them the one finger salute the whole way through. I do not like Philadelphia.
I've never been there, but
I like Pennsylvania. My mom lives in Pennsylvania, but no, no. Lancaster is great. Where I used to live in Pennsylvania, Newtown, all that area, it's nice. But Philadelphia, nope.
Pennsylvania's beautiful. It has
Pennsyltucky, as we call it.
Hershey Park there, doesn't
It's right
it?
by my mom. Hershey Park's about 40 minutes from my mother.
Beautiful. And the Hershey School is
And they
there
got the
too.
big Hershey's Kiss. It's freaking like five
Yeah,
pounds of chocolate.
I love that.
It's ridiculous. Going to
Ridiculous.
diabetic shock just from walking into the park.
Ridiculous.
So, all right, I got a couple things I want to talk about. So we got this letter in the mail today. It's from this Bureau of Census or the Census Bureau, right? And it says required by law to be filled out or you will be prosecuted. Strike number one, right?
But
You're gonna
generally, the census is every 20 years. That doesn't make sense. This may be fraud.
well, so we're going through the census and they ask you age, where you live, yada yada yada, whatever, all that stuff. What's your house worth? What's the income? All that crap. What's your social security number, your credit card? They didn't ask that. But then they ask, what gender were you assigned at birth? What pronouns do you go by? What is your sexual orientation? Lorianne flipped out. She's like, I'm not filling this
But
out.
I'm going to tell you, you should call someone and verify. This may be
She
fraud
did. She
because,
left a message.
well,
No, I
yeah,
think
this may be fraud
I gotta look at
because,
the I gotta look at the fine print. But
because
can they ask you? I mean, what does that have to do with the
no, they
census?
can't. That's what I'm saying is there was an issue. I'm not bringing this up to bring it up under the Trump administration of what question they wanted to add a question to the 2020 census, and it was an issue, and it was never any of those. This is a a fraudulent document. Because first of all, the census is every 20 years. So 2020, 2040 will be the next census. It's a lot of work. And what it's trying to do is
And don't they go door to door anyway?
they do. They get paid to go door to door. And generally the
When
census
was
is
the last time they
pretty
did the census? 2020?
2020. 2020 was the last census. It's on the zero factor. Just like
Why did they go 20 years?
that's the rule. I think constitutionally a census should be done every 20 years. And it's a lot of work. You can't do it. First of all,
I thought they did it
they're
every
looking for the
10
nation's
years.
demographics. And you can't really get into it every few years. Demographics don't change that much every few years.
Did you know they consider Hispanic white now?
I did not know that.
It'll say Hispanic white,
Right. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
which is
Everybody thinks I'm
confusing.
Hispanic.
Well, you kind of look it. You're a little beige. You look Mexican.
I'm I'm I'm
Órale,
Egyptian.
órale, vato, ¿qué pasó? No, I don't.
Gordo,
I'm gordo.
Gordo.
I am el gordo. I was actually
Yankee.
watching a short reel today on Instagram or Facebook or something with oh, Lorianne says it's every 10 years.
10 years. There you go. But it's not every few years.
Right.
There you go.
So
But
anyway,
it's not it's a zero factor though. It's 20, 30, 40.
right.
Yeah, it's
So
not. It's the fraudulent document for sure. First of all, whatever it was, there was a question. It was a big to do about adding a question to the census. I don't exactly remember what the question was, but it came on a lot of political scrutiny, and it's a big. That's never been a discussion. Are you going to know what you identify? Do you identify as a cat? Do you have a litter box in your bathroom? No, that's never going to be a part of the census.
right.
No,
That's what I
I
told
just
dude. I should just totally mess with it now.
yeah.
I should just make it totally up.
My
Oh,
wife
that's
had something. The bank called her. She said, "I got to call the guy back." And then she said he got like agitated that she couldn't answer the question until she got home. And I said, then it can't be a real call. Call the bank now and verify there's an issue. And she called the bank and they said there is no issue and that is a fraudulent call. You've got to be careful. They're pretty creative. You could
I had a guy call me and tell me he was from the IRS and
right,
that I owed money, right? And I was like, I was going along with it, not for real. I knew it was fake, first of all.
right.
His name was Mike, and I don't tell you, and my name is Mike. Stop it. Your name is not Mike Abdul. And I just got canceled. And
No, my uncle had a friend that owned a Vietnamese restaurant, and he says, "His is Charlie." I said, "His name's not Charlie." He said, "It's Wang Ding Sung." I said, "It's not Charlie." I said, "You never watched the movie Platoon? Everybody's Charlie."
that's
And, oh
right.
no, that's his name. It's Charlie. I said, "Okay, it's Charlie."
All right, whatever, bro. But so I was going along with it, and I was just like, and he's like, "All right, well, we need a payment right now, or we're coming to arrest you." I was like, "You can't catch me, copper! Come get me!" And the guy's like, then he starts cursing me out because he's like, "If you knew this was a scam, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Dude, you're admitting it now, dude. How about I come find
Right?
you and shoot you in your face?"
Yeah.
I get pretty hot and hostile with those calls. I do. I get very like I asked Jesus to turn around for a minute because I'm not very nice.
But he says no. Don't be mad.
I'm not mad. I just like messing with them. And
Yeah,
then I
I do
get,
too. I
I
like
get,
that
I get,
too.
I get, I get very threatening in a violent way.
Like they used to send out these mailings to send disabled American veterans $20, and the president is disabled, but he was never a veteran, and the whole thing was a hoax.
That's like your buddy Tim Walls. Um, he can't even
Here we
load a
go.
shotgun. Here we go.
Here we
There
go.
we go. No, so yeah, I mean, dude, I get calls all the time. Last night, my phone rings and it says Ron DeSantis. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Lorianne starts laughing because she knows, all right, he's gonna have fun with this. But it actually was,
It was him.
it was his office. It wasn't him calling me, it was his
Right.
office calling because they were doing a town hall and no press was invited. It was not announced. It was only from, for I don't know how he got my phone number. I
Well,
guess because I'm a upper echelons of the Republican.
MAGA.
I'm not if you're American and you want this country to be great, then I think you're part of the MAGA
I say
culture.
make America greater. I say I'm a mag. It's always been great.
You
We
got
don't
one
need to
letter.
make
You
it.
got one letter wrong in that sentence right there.
There's no again there. We've always been great. Always will be great. We will have
We
our
we
flaws.
got our bumps. We got our hiccups. I
We
get
got,
it.
of
I get it.
course.
But look, he's riding that train, baby. He is. Anyway,
The
so I get the call from Ron DeSantis last night, and this is what we want to talk about tonight. He brought up two very, very. He didn't. It was what the town hall was about, and he addressed them. I guess that would be the word. He broke them down piece by piece, and it was really interesting call. We were talking about they were talking about Amendment 4, Amendment 3, and Amendment 4, which are on the ballot. But the problem is you don't know what the amendment actually says because they can't write the whole thing out on the ballot. So you can't
no,
read the fine print. You have to do your due diligence and researches.
but in
So
there lie the issue of due diligence all around. I mean, people are fooled by politicians routinely. So, but not to interrupt, but
there's no way politicians are up and up and they tell the truth all the time.
I mean,
Look,
they'll
Nancy Pelosi never lies and has never had a
never,
drink. Never had a drink
never,
either.
never had a drink.
Maxine Waters is a beautiful person
Beautiful, beautiful.
on the planet Krypton. Um,
And
no,
you know what
no.
I say?
What was the movie?
AOC, the
Oh,
acronym AOC, another obnoxious child.
so so I looked up the two things just to see what he was talking about, and I was very interested to find out. So let's dive into Amendment 3. Look, I was
So let's
I was
preface
at
what
first
Amendment 3 is. That's legalizing marijuana.
marijuana. So I was
Marijuana.
actually for it, okay? Because I'm like, look, let's make it legal. Let's tax the snot out of it. Make money. Make Florida rich. Because everybody smokes weed in Florida. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody. I drive through neighborhoods and I get contact highs all day long. And it ain't just poor neighborhoods, it's rich neighborhoods. I've been in houses like multi-million dollar mansions and I get stoned walking to the front door. But I'm like, well, legalize it. So look, here's the problem. I don't have a problem with weed. If it's done properly, you grow it like, Billy Bob wants to grow his little dirt weed in the backyard and smoke his joint on a Friday night, whatever. Go ahead, bro. Don't arrest the guy and lock him up for stupid when there's way more criminal activity out there that needs to be taken care of. Is weed bad for you? Any kind of smoke you ingest into your lungs can have carcinogens. You know what I'm trying to
Carcinogens.
carcinogens, thank you, in them, which will cause cancer, right? So,
In their live vape.
right, vape is bad, not good,
Bad.
very bad,
Bad.
bad.
Very bad.
I vaped for a while. I vaped CBD when I was having my jaw issues because it would take the anxiety off. It was oil. I don't know if it was bad
But
for
it's
me.
still bad. It has those
It got
carbon
heated
chips
up,
that,
so it had to get heated in the element. So who knows if
yeah.
whatever. But look, I smoked for how many years? It was terrible. I can't believe I smoked for so long. When we first met, I used to smoke. You remember?
Yes. Yes,
Yes,
me too.
I smoked them cowboy killers.
Yep.
I
Marble
was a,
lights for
I
me.
was a Marlboro Light man. Anyway,
Yes.
they say why Marlboro Lights were the most addictive cigarette? Because they
I
have
do not.
chocolate mixed in with it.
but all sorts of other things too, like
Oh yeah,
weed.
yeah, all the other chemicals, but they say that's one of the addictions is the chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but whatever. I used to smoke chocolate then. I mean, as a kid, I used to smoke roll stuff in newspaper, so whatever. Um, so I didn't have a problem with it till I dove deep into the actual amendment and who wrote the amendment and who is going to be. So weed to me is way safer than alcohol if you want to talk on that plane, okay? Because most people who get high just want to sit in front of the TV and eat nachos and laugh at SpongeBob. You get drunk, you get 10 feet tall and bulletproof, you're fighting, you're driving a car. Do you know how many times, and this is a terrible thing to admit, but you know how many times I drove and I should not have? But I promise you this, the very, very few, and I did try weed. I'm not going to lie. I just smoked it. I didn't inhale any. Me and Bill passed it back and forth. Bill Clinton. And
He didn't
no,
inhale. He
no,
didn't.
but the few times that I did try it, I became one with the couch. Like I couldn't move. There was no driving. There was no going anywhere. I just sat. I remember one night my girlfriend came over and she said I sat in front of the TV for like 6 hours. She was talking to me. I didn't even know she was there. I was on another planet, you know? So there was no threat of Zach getting in a fight, Zach driving a car. I remember the first time I did it, I'll never forget. I was in high school. I was over at my friend's house and we sat around and then they started doing shrooms and I was like, all right, I'm out. This is too much.
Yeah, that could get a little hectic.
I walked downstairs his condo. I walked downstairs, walked out to my car, and I realized everybody knows I'm stoned. I'm like, uh, so I just went and sat on the couch. He comes down like 2.5 hours later. He's like, dude, I thought you left. I was like, dude, I couldn't drive. Everybody knew I was stoned. He's like, oh my gosh. So I finally drive home and my mom's like, hey, I got dinner for you. I'm like, no, no, I don't feel good. I'm going to bed. I just went to bed. I was out, done. I didn't,
She knew something was up.
no, they never. Maybe I don't know.
You'll have to
They'll say
ask
they
her.
didn't know. I was like, Mom, how could you not? I used to come home hammered all the time. I was bad. I was a bad drinker when I was a kid. Anyway, that's my point. Like when my kids used to get high, they would just sit in here and play video games, right? They didn't cause trouble. Every time my one kids get drunk, either they're with friends who get arrested or getting in fights, or they're getting in fights. There's, it's every time. My wife, Lorianne, keeps telling them, do you hear the common denominator that's going on in this? What is it? Oh, alcohol. Yeah, yeah. So why do you continue to keep drinking? Lorianne and I are not teetotalers. We both drank, but we do not anymore. I have my reasons, and she quit because I don't drink. I told her she didn't have to, but she wanted to. She wanted to support me, and so she did.
That was great.
Yeah, that's like my best friend is a retired sheriff up north, and he now has his own mobile cigar business. So they go to weddings and parties and bar mitzvahs and everything.
Oh,
Well, maybe
nice.
not
And
bar
set up
mitzvahs, 13
displays and all.
rolling. Yeah, and he rolls cigars. And
Wow.
he does really, really well. I mean, it's a very profitable business. And I said, man, I should do that. But I'm like, I can't. Because if I sit around cigars, I'm going to want to smoke one. If I smoke a cigar, I'll go right back to smoking. Like, and I haven't had
In an
cigarettes since
instant,
2000. I haven't had a cigarette in 20 years, 2004.
I'm right
I've
up
been,
there with you.
I've
Maybe
been
30
tobacco
for
free
me.
since 2004. So I just won't take the chance. I went and had a meeting with a friend at a cigar bar over in Winter Park. And dude, I had a headache for like 2 days.
Every time I've ever smoked a cigar, I get nauseous now.
No,
I always
I
inhale too
look,
much
let me tell you
smoke.
what, if it had tobacco or nicotine in it, I was doing it. Dip, chew, cigars, pipe, cigarettes, it didn't matter. I loved it. I did it all.
I didn't.
I used
I
to
smoked
actually like those
cigarettes.
little they're not little cigars, like not the cigarettos, not those.
Yeah.
It was actually a cigar, but it was just a smaller one. And
Always
I
got
love those.
nauseous.
I love those. Oh, but anyway, so back to the amendment. So I thought, let make weed legal. Let's tax it, make money, pay off the debt for the state, help people. Like DeSantis said, though, he had several bullet points, but one of them was he's like, remember when they sold you on the lottery? How's that helping education? He goes, not a penny goes to it. He goes, so everybody thinks we're gonna, tax weed and pay off everything. There's no money.
Well, it's worth clarifying what happened to the lottery money. The lottery money was intended to go to education. It did go to education. What they did was they diverted other funds from education, and all the lottery money did was make up
Was
for that
refill the hole
diversion.
that they took
Right,
out.
fill the
So it
hole.
basically like let's dig a hole here and take that
But
dirt from that hole over there and put it in that hole. But look, the
right,
hole's still filling.
exactly.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the
yeah.
lottery was a popular initiative, and Florida was going to have a lottery whether they promised the money to
Hey, well, look, and
anything.
I don't have a problem with lottery. I have no problem with
Right.
gambling. And look, if you want to do it, do it. I don't. I don't waste my money. I don't go into any of the casinos. I grew up in Jersey where casinos were prevalent everywhere, you know.
The
It,
issue is they keep bringing up the idea of casinos. Casinos in Florida would be an issue because it would cannibalize people's money for everything else we do in Florida. So,
and you know who owns casinos?
well, who owns casinos?
The Jews. No, the Indians.
No,
Because
that's
you
that's
can
the
only
idea
build
of
them on you can
casinos is
only
we
build them
don't
on
want it to be
the
solely owned by the Indians. The
oh.
Indians is only on their reservations. The idea
Right.
of
You can
opening
in
up
Florida you can only
casinos,
have a casino
and
on a
then there was a
reservation.
discussion of boutique style casinos, the smaller casinos in Florida. The problem is that with this it would really cannibalize the money people have to do the things they're already doing in Florida. It would bring nothing good to Florida. It wouldn't increase revenue
Everybody
at
says
all.
that if you all you got to do is watch the movie Casino. Casinos bring nothing but crime,
Right.
the mob. They somehow always get their fingers involved. I just watched a show. You watched it, a show on Netflix. What was it called? The Judge.
Yeah, yeah, I liked it. I liked it.
And the mob was running the
Right.
yeah. So
So there's two different things here. The lottery brought something. It never did anything for education. There's no argument there, but it is fun for people to scratch tickets, to look for new tickets. That's some
my
people
my
really think
my
they're going to hit
my
their jackpot.
my ex-wife's father used to buy the kids scratch tickets every time he
I
come to
buy them all the
town.
time.
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
loved it. The kids would like, and if they win $5, he'd be like, "Here, give him a $5, whatever."
Right.
Nobody ever hit 50,000 or anything in my
No.
house. No,
I did just pull up to my Chevron and it says there was a $50,000 winner and the
it
cashier
wasn't
got
me.
fun. No, no.
No,
But the
I would buy a new
cashier
truck. Oh wait, no, I have a new truck, so never
the
mind.
store got $500 or $5,000 or something too.
Whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, I got no problem with that. But so I dove deep into the amendment. I listened to Governor Ron, and then I read up on it to make sure. I did a little fact checking. Not that I think Governor Ron would be fibbing, but I know parties are anti other parties, so they're going to say things to make other parties sound bad. But when you do the dive deep into this thing, Amendment 3 is bad. So the company that wrote the amendment is called Trulieve, which is the largest marijuana they don't manufacture, I guess grower. I don't know.
Grower.
Yeah, yeah, grower.
Oh, they may just be
And
the store owners. I don't know that they're growers.
yeah, well, I think your boy Morgan
John
John
Morgan.
is he's the grower. He owns the farms. And
I've
then
heard that, but I'm not going to confirm or deny
I'm not either because I don't know the guy.
it.
But I ran into him at a baseball game once down in Kissimmee. He was at the Atlanta Braves spring training down there. No, Atlanta plays in Disney. Who were we at? Who's in Kissimmee? Anyway, it was a game down in Kissimmee. We went to spring training down
I
there.
ran into John Morgan at Wally's.
What's
That's a
Wall?
bar where it's all
I was like, what's
alcohol. The
Wally's?
Mexican. It's on Mills in Nebraska. It's on Mills in Nebraska and Orlando. It's a dive bar. He was behind the bar in his $3,000 custom suit
So
mixing
you
up
could smoke in
drinks.
that bar
Probably, yeah.
because there's no food, right?
Right, right. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's just
That's Florida law. You could smoke at a bar if there's no
yeah,
food.
yeah.
Like what's that bar you used to go to on the corner of Bumby down there? What was it Southern Nights?
You actually know the location. I don't.
I drive by it all the time. It's in my territory. It's not
Do
there
you
anymore.
really?
Yeah.
No,
Just like Parliament House isn't there anymore.
no, that's gone.
They took it out. I went in there one time on a service call. What was I? Oh, when I was working for the garbage company, I went in there.
I remember when you were working for the garbage company.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I went in there and I was like oh yeah, it was disgusting. The
So
taps.
let's get back to the amendment.
So the amendment. So I dove deep into it and read it. So this company, True Leaf, is actually the ones that wrote it. And basically it's all about them just making money. 100%. So no one else can sell weed except for them. The only weed that's legal is what they sell. So Billy Joe Jim Bob can't grow weed out in the swamp for himself. Him and the Gators. So they got to drive into town and go to the True Leaf store. So how does that make it free. It's not. It's not a
Well,
free.
allegedly, the reason they want
It's not a free amendment. It's a locked amendment. You have to buy from this guy, and it's
right.
all about them lining their pockets.
So supposedly, if True Leaf or if there's other companies in True Leaf's magnitude, then they're the only ones producing and selling it. Then you've taken out the concern about the additives, the chemical additives that are, and then you've also got the algorithm. So do
Well,
they
because I
treat
had a
certain
problem with like the new, like a lot of the weed coming over is now laced with fentanyl and stuff like that.
Right, right. So then
So
you also have the algorithms they're looking for medically. Does it really help this?
you
Does it
can
really
still get
help that?
medical weed
What is
from.
it that help? But it doesn't. There's all this feeling like they're saying it helps with autism, and some parent will say,
No,
"I
well, I
started.
didn't know autism, but I know it really helps with Parkinson's.
I've heard that, but there's no
No, I've
when
seen it, but
people
you can also do CBD, which is legal,
right."
and it does the same thing from what I understand.
But it's the same thing with holistic medicines. Do we have the research? Do we have the tracking? And we don't always have that research
No,
and
but you
tracking.
know that I'm a very much anti-pharmacy guy.
Right.
I
But
love my
some things
pharmacist.
require
She's actually my
pharmaceuticals.
customer.
Huh?
I said I love my pharmacist. She's actually one of my customers, but pharmaceuticals, I
Right.
am
She's the
totally
pharmacist.
against.
She's not the
Yeah,
pharmaceutical
right.
company.
She's not making the drug. The problem is if I watched, I was listening to an ad the other day, and I always listen to hear what the side effects are. And this one, some cases can cause death. I'm like, sign me up. I'll take that drug. I mean, come on. Nobody I know of has ever died from weed.
No. But you have to realize that's how
Everybody I know, a
America
lot of people have died
works.
from alcohol. A lot of people died from smoking. A lot of people died from overdose of other synthetic drugs, but ain't nobody ever I met that has died from weed. Look at Willie Nelson. What's he like 150 and he smokes 87 joints a day? You
Well, I
know?
mean, Warren Buffett's 94 and he eats McDonald's every day. I mean, there are anomalies to
And
every
look, your
rule in
boy just
life.
worked at McDonald's the other day himself and he ate some, I'm
Donald,
sure. I'm sure he ate some.
Donald,
I wonder if he bought everybody's meal that day who ever came through the drive-through.
Donald was there.
That's
But here's
awesome.
the thing. Let me make this point. But here's the thing. Um, the re this is how America works. The reason the lobbyists wrote the bill is because that's the only way to get the bill onto the ballot. And here's why. If you looked at what I just researched today, in order to get the bill, in order to get the people out there, to get the signatures, to get the bill to be a constitutional amendment consideration, took 50 or 60 million dollars. When you talk about Ron DeSantis, the truth is he only spent, I've read, in the range of $150,000 disputing the notion of the constitutional amendment. In order to get it to the point where it's actually being voted on as a constitutional amendment, it takes big money. So again, John Morgan, when he first made it a constitutional amendment issue, he spent 6 million of his own money and then 12 because he failed the first time, and then 12 million of his own money. It takes money to make it a constitutional amendment. Those who make it a constitutional amendment are just that lobbyists that write it in their favor. So if you want good logic, vote no on Amendment 3. You don't want to cater to lobbyists.
Right.
You
And
don't.
the other thing is they're making it so it will be legal. You can smoke it anywhere you want.
Well, that's something, another point where everybody's going to smell like weed. I got that, but there are some, I mean, you're not going to be able to walk through theme parks smoking weed. I
No,
don't think.
DeSantis said they'll be able to smoke in restaurants because the only ban in restaurants right now for smoking is cigarettes,
Well, and
tobacco
I think
products.
ultimately the bans will come then. The
Oh, I'm
legislation
sure,
will
I'm
have.
sure, I'm sure, I'm sure, but it'll take time. And
Right.
I'm out to dinner with my 3-year-old granddaughter, and freaking Billy Bob sitting next to me smoking a joint. I don't need that.
Well, and just to say again, the reason lobbyists wrote the bill is lobbyists are the one of the ones that invested the money to see to it that it was. You have to the people that are out there getting these petitions signed to make it a constitutional amendment are getting paid about $6 a signature, in order to get it in order to be a constitutional consideration amendment to Florida's constitution consideration. It takes millions of signatures, and so those lobbyist companies invested, I heard, in the range of $125 million to get it to this point. Now, if you ask me as a voter, I'm voting no simply because I want those lobbyists to lose their ass.
I'm voting no because I don't agree with it.
Yeah, there's no need for it. I mean, there's no shortage of weed, legal and illegal. The whole thing's just become a
And when was the last time
political.
you pulled up at a traffic light and didn't smell weed?
I know. And even if my friend's a real stickler, and he called one time about his neighbor smoking weed, they said it's not even a crime anymore. We're not going to
Right.
respond.
Right. I mean, my kid
So,
got pulled over and he had a bag of weed on him and
and they say
he was no,
go.
no, he was above the limit. And but the cop even gave him an opportunity and said, "Dude, are you sure this isn't like CBD or oregano?" And my kid's like, "No, I'm not supposed to lie." So I'm like, "Dude, the one time you could have
Yeah, yeah. So he got
instead,
arrested.
yeah, he got busted.
He
We
did.
got it dropped. We got it
Oh,
taken
he's
care of.
such a nice boy.
He's an idiot. They're all idiots. He's not the actually Andrew and Ashton. I don't know why I said both their names on air, but you can
That's
edit
okay.
out, Laura. Two of my sons got busted.
That's quite all right.
And I remember I got the call when the eldest was locked up and it was his mother and she's like, "Do you know where your son is?" I was like, "He's sleeping in his room." She's like, try again." I was like, "What are you talking about?" So he snuck out in the middle of the night and went to Daytona with his buddy and he pulled out of a 7-Eleven and forgot to turn on his headlights because he was stoned. And and they pulled him over. Well, they searched his car and they said they had consent because they smelled, they had probable. I found out. I mean, I talked to the cop, and I mean, I kind of gave him the who's who and the what's what, and he was kind of, it was Daytona, and so I just hired this pit bull of an attorney, and they got it dropped like to
Well,
nothing.
Daytona's going to pull you over for that because they do the bike week and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
beach week the same
yeah,
2 weeks in a row.
yeah. So we got this pit bull attorney and got it handled, and then my other kid gets nailed, and we get another attorney for him, and here I am shelling out money for attorneys.
So you're like Trumpster.
I
You're a
I'm gonna make
Trumpster.
Zach's world great again. Oh wait, it is always great. So, all right. So, vote no for Amendment 3 in Florida.
And this is what makes America great. We agree.
Yes.
So now let's
Amendment
go on to Amendment 4.
Amendment 4 is the right to abortion initiative.
But let's clarify one thing because yesterday when we talked, you said you do still need parental consent. It doesn't
No,
change it.
it
Yes,
does
I read it
no,
today.
it's in here. I'm reading it. And DeSantis said it yesterday.
I know DeSantis said it, but I read it when you asked me to research it, and
I
it said
saw it
that
on the internet.
no, you do need parental consent, and that's been my biggest issue is you should need my kids need parental consent
But
for taking cough
the
medicine.
thing that bothered me the most of all was you can go to a clinic. It does not have to be a medical doctor.
So,
They can be called a medical clinic and they don't have to have a doctor on duty to get it done. So you're going to have back alley abortions going on again.
well, we are having those. This is another thing though. Now you got to keep in mind, and this is a term, it's an acronym. It's called TRAP. It's called Targeted Regulation Against Abortion Providers. TRAP is an acronym. Started in Texas. They passed a law before Hobbs, they passed a law that said any abortion clinic had to have the same
Calvin and Hobbes?
hospital access as hospitals. So small abortion clinics had to have these enormous sliding doors so you could get a gurney to pass through the
Sure.
hallways. And most of the abortion clinics closed after that law passed in Texas. That law was challenged. It took years, but the Supreme Court shot it down, and the clinics were closed. So again, you've got this left and right, this Hatfield and McCoy's. Are we going to say abortions can only be done in viable abortion clinics? Are we going to say abortions can only be done in hospitals? We've opened the floodgates with Hobbes that you can regulate the practice, and that's just fine with me. Regulate the practice. There was never a challenge when Dr. Kevorkian was assisting suicides to can we regulate his
I
procedure?
thought he got locked up for that.
He did,
Yeah.
because legally there are no kings in America. So the Supreme Court cannot require you to allow assisted suicide. And the state said it is not allowed in our state. And that's what Hobbes did.
And I think both you and I don't like big government, so we want the states to be able to make the
Let
call.
the states regulate the practice. There is going to be, as I said, there is going to be its
But
failings. There
as
is
as
going to
I
be
was
its
listening to
shortfalls.
DeSantis talk, he's like this nonsense that the Democrats are saying that we're going to ban abortions, and he says no, we're not banning abortions. They don't have to go to other states to get it done. It's going to be regulated. They don't want late term abortions, which I agree with. Do you think a 9 months can you can just
Well, late term abortions has never constituted a 9 month, the final trimester, but
look at
I say you should
Minnesota? It
late.
does.
It
I know
may in
you want
Minnesota.
to
I'm
argue.
not
I'm
familiar with
telling you,
Minnesota, but
tampon
and
Timmy.
therefore Minnesota can regulate it either way. That's what Hobbes did. So no, I don't need an amendment that changes that again adds to the argument that's already been argued for the last 50 years.
I think the
I
state should
think
be the
what's going to
power of
happen is
it.
natural legal gentrification. There's going to be some sort of reason and some sort of sound, profound reason that abortion is going to be a regulated practice, just like most other medical practices. This is not a necessary piece to the puzzle. So
So,
my feeling is again, if you, from my point of view, would be vote no on four.
well, and like I said, I had a problem with it not being a medical doctor, just calling themselves an abortion clinic. A medical clinic, they can do it. That doesn't make it legit.
Well,
That's
generally
like
you would
that's
want a
like that's
gynecologist to
like
do
going
the.
to a Whole Food store, not Whole Food, but like a natural food store, and they have a medicine section, and the guy's like wearing a white doctor jacket saying, "You need to take this for your cold." Dude, who are you? It's Wally the stock boy.
Well, you wouldn't want that, right?
No,
Right.
totally no.
But the issue again is where we had in a certain state a 13-year-old bleeding in a parking lot. The doctor finally agreed to
That's
treat
like
her, and she
one
was charged.
time,
Well, yeah,
you
that's. I'm
can't,
not saying I'm not
let's,
presenting the argument again. I'm just saying
and what state was
these are
that?
the
Because it ain't,
arguments when
it's
it
not
comes to
our state.
no. But
So
these
why are
are
you
the
worried
arguments when it
about it?
comes to. We had this argument the other day about
Let's worry about our
silencers.
state.
I am worried. I'm very focused on our
I
state, but
don't
we'll be
care about
talking
other
about this.
states. I don't live in any
Right.
other state. Hey,
But
look, hold on. I can't see any other state out my front window. So I don't care. No, seriously. And look, I feel bad, but every state, and if you live in that state, then vote for the way you want it to go. I
if
live in
it's an
Florida.
option. But that's
It
what I've
has
always
to.
said is ultimately,
What
if it's
state is
not
that
an
communist
option,
that it wouldn't be an option?
huh?
What state is that communist that wouldn't be an option?
I don't know. Like you said, I'm gonna have to stick with Florida law at this point. I'm not versed in 50 states laws. I'm not
I
really
think you
even versed
should.
in
I think you
Florida
need to
law.
start studying. I need all
Not
50
even
state
that well
laws.
versed in Florida law. What I am
I don't
saying
even know my
is
own
I
law.
feel as if it does get to that point in a certain state, that certain state may vote out their local lawmakers just to bring back reason to the whole procedure.
So
May.
I think all states should be able to regulate their own
That's what
rules.
Hobbes did.
I actually think all states should regulate all their own rules, and federal government needs to just take care of the United State as one, like what am I trying to say here, Trippy? Like I'm sure there's federal laws that we need to have, right? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's not. I
Well,
don't
keep in
know.
mind, Hobbes, that's the one thing that concerns people about Hobbes is when the Supreme Court rules on something, it opens up the floodgates to other legal precedent.
Where's Calvin?
Huh?
Calvin and Hobbes?
Well, for it's what's happening is states do have that right now, according to the precedent that was written into law by the Hobbes abortion ruling, that states have a lot of autonomy to do their own thing.
So we both
Federal
agree
law,
vote no on Amendment 4.
yeah.
Okay.
I would say we don't need it. Yeah.
No, we don't need look, I hear these women saying, keep a man out of my uterus or keep the government out of my uterus. Okay. Vote how you feel. That's fine.
Right.
Um,
So I've
I'm
always said the Hobbes ruling overturned 50 years of precedent, but it did it in a way that was a true interpretation of the Constitution. Am I concerned about what could happen next? Yes. But do I agree that it was done in a way that's incongruent in agreement with the Constitution?
so
Yes.
so in my opinion, federal law would be enforced when you break I'm a criminal in Florida and I disappear to another state, then the feds are going to get involved to help
Right.
hook
Well,
you
then
up
you
and
have
then
your
bring you.
U.S. Marshals.
Right. Then they bring you back to Florida.
Right.
But when it comes to speed limit, abortion, liquor, drugs, whatever, let the state worry about it.
That's what happened.
Like
But you did
the
have
feds
that
got involved. Do you
manipulation.
remember back in the 80s when they made it mandatory for everybody to go to 55?
Yeah, that was Jimmy Carter.
Right. But they also made it mandatory that everybody goes to the 21-year-old drinking age.
That was Ronald Reagan.
And the states fought it and they said, well, you can fight it, but we're going to stop funding you with state aid, with
Only on
federal
the
aid.
21
Right. Which
road
is
money. But
which is
on the
baloney.
55, obviously, it's been overturned.
Which is below. I know because we're not doing what do we do like
But the
170
55
in
was more
Florida?
of an initiative to be fuel efficient because we were going through a time where we were having fuel gas lines, which didn't
Wait,
work.
who was the president then?
But you know, my heart and soul goes out to the great president Jimmy Carter, who
Yeah,
is
my
not doing
dad's sitting in
well.
freaking traffic, backed up every other day to get gas. Yeah, sure he'll agree with you on that.
Well, no, everybody was going nuts. I mean, it was odd and
I
even
remember you
license.
had odd or even license plates, and you had to wait.
Yeah,
Like I could
and
get
people were
gas
selling
on.
coffee. Then there
Yeah,
was free enterprise, which Republicans
sure.
love.
Oh, so entrepreneurialism started because the gas was
Entrepreneurs.
so expensive. Dude, let me tell you what we had. Those of you who aren't in Florida listening to our show, we had a hurricane last week. Speaking of gas, and I had to get gas. The storm came on Wednesday and was gone by Thursday. Now Central Florida got hit. It was one of those storms. I don't remember ever being in a storm like that. It wasn't like violent, but man, it sounded like a freight train going through my yard. And the rain was coming sideways and backwards and upside down. It was pretty crazy. But there was tornadoes spawning off everywhere, which was really weird because they were spawning off on the East Coast and the hurricane was on the West Coast. But anyway, and I'm not a weatherman, so don't start. Well, Zach, if the low pressure system hits the high pressure and and your mom's underwear is hanging on the clothesline, it's flying away. Anyway, so I went for gas on where Lorianne and I were driving home. It was Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember. And I had to get gas. And I'm looking everywhere, and nobody's got diesel. First of all, why does nobody have diesel? This is ridiculous. And every gas station is mobbed packed, like ridiculous. And finally, the Circle K here in Apopka, the new one had diesel. And I'm watching everybody get gas. And first of all, people are look like they're about to get fist fights because people are like cutting people off and not driving. Anyway, I'm watching the pumps for the regular gas. It's like dink, dink, dink. You know when everybody's going,
Because
it's
they were
going slow.
empty.
Yeah, they were going
Yeah.
low on gas, and everybody was filling up, and they were going super slow. Right? I put my diesel in, no slowness at all, filled right up.
No, but there shouldn't have been that problem either. I
It
don't know what
doesn't make
happened.
sense. Even Governor Ron said, Florida does not have a gas shortage. The trucks are here. We're ready to fill stations. Maybe they hadn't filled them up. Maybe but why? I don't understand. Do you not live in Florida? Have you never been through a hurricane before? Why do you go and buy every roll of toilet paper, every case of water, and fill up? I see people filling up milk jugs with gasoline. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Well, first of all, that's not legal.
No, I know,
But
but I seen people filling up like Ziploc bags, whatever.
I'll be honest with you, Rick Scott actually had state troopers escorting some of the tankers to their locations, and I don't know why Ron DeSantis didn't have that because it is his option to.
But we didn't have a shortage. There was
I
no.
couldn't get gas. I mean, I don't know. That's just
You should buy a diesel.
I can't afford the car I have. It's got 270,000 miles on it. I've still got a year to pay on it. So I'm really I imagine the trade-in value is what, $11? So
I give you 12.75.
I'm not rushing into it. I don't even, frankly, the whole gas thing. I do know where there is gas. If anybody wants to know, you can take this to the bank. It's on the turnpike. If you go to Turkey
Always,
Lake,
always. The turnpike always has gas.
and I actually pass there every day taking the kids swimming. But if you really are concerned about it, hop on the
There's
turnpike and
also
you
a
can get
Nathan's
gas.
hot dog stand in there.
There is a Nathan's
Yes,
hot,
there
and
is. You know I
Wendy's is
love me
there
some
too.
Nathan's.
Oh yeah, Nathan's is good.
Yeah, well, you're from up north,
They're
Nathan's.
kosher hot dogs.
White Castle,
I
Nathan's.
hate White Castle.
Seriously?
They have onions.
Oh, do you like Crystal?
I if I even eat a White Castle, I burp it for a week. I know it's better to burp and taste it than fart and waste it, but White Castle, that's not. That's just
You're stupid.
White
No, I
Castle
like White Castle. I like me some sliders. We
filled
used
with
to we
freaking
used to go get. I
onions.
mean, it's garbage, garbage. Me and Lorianne.
Garbage.
So me and Lorianne went out to eat the other day, and we found this really great Italian place in Altamont, actually.
What was it called?
Um,
Cafe Morano's?
no, I've eaten there. That's pretty good.
It is good.
What? How do you say grandfather in Italian? No, no. It's called
No,
No
no,
Nos. No Nos.
no, no.
Yeah, it's called No Nos in Altamont. Food was
But I
delicious.
think that's Spanish.
No, it's Italian, you goomba.
My wife tells my kids to call it when Grandpa was alive. No, no.
Spanish and Italian is very similar.
That may be, but yeah,
My grandfather could speak Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese.
I think my wife can do all that. Not Portuguese, probably not. I think she can understand it.
It's very similar.
French is a little difficult, but it's
Parlez-vous
still
français?
similar.
Oh, oh. Russian is tough. How about Hebrew? You want to learn Hebrew?
I don't.
No, nor do I. They
I
write
can't
backwards. I
imagine.
don't understand how that
I
works.
don't want to learn any language. I've never learned Spanish. I've been married for 22 years.
I struggle with English. I'm married to an English teacher, and my mom was an English teacher.
And you don't do English very well.
Go figure.
Come on,
Where are we going?
Zachaloot.
Anyway, so yes, the turnpike. Um,
Great advice.
yeah, Florida. But it was funny because people were trying to escape from Tampa. And then people were trying to escape from Orlando, which makes no sense. Dude, I've lived here for 30 years. I've never been hit by a hurricane that made me nervous. We
I
lost
wasn't
power.
nervous, but I didn't have power for 3 days. That kind of
Sucked.
pissed me
We were
off.
out power, no power 36 hours. But FEMA's going to step in and send me some money.
They are?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
They said I could get a voucher for a hotel if I needed it. I'm like, I don't need a hotel. I need to pay for all my food I lost. We had literally two refrigerators full of food we had to throw
Right.
away.
Us too. Two full refrigerators.
We were staying at the Airbnb, right? And oh, so funny story about that. Great place. I won't bash the Airbnb. They took care of us. They allowed us to bring our dogs. They didn't give us a hard time. Didn't charge us a pet deposit. Everybody's like, yeah, you can bring a dog. Can't be way more than 20 pounds. I'm like, my dog's poop 20 pounds.
By the way, I have 40 dogs.
I'm on my way. So we stayed at this place. They didn't charge us a pet deposit, didn't charge us a cleaning fee, nothing. I mean, really nice place. But they were without power for 4 days and they're on a well. No
So no
power, no
water.
power, no water. When we got back, if you recall, I got sick. I thought I had
Whoa.
food poisoning. Someone said maybe the well got tainted. I don't know.
Did you call our friend and tell him it wasn't him?
Who?
The food guy.
I
Don't
don't know
say
that
his
what it
name.
was. No, I haven't talked to him.
No.
I don't know what it was. I mean, if it was the food, because Lorianne got a little irpy. And actually
But it could have
Janet
been
did
a
too.
well.
It could have
Could have been
been.
a well.
Could have been the mold in the house. Who knows? We don't know what was in that house.
No.
It's a nice house though. Nice little
I
place.
loved my
I'm
cabin in
sure the
Ellis
people
Island.
left though. We're glad we left because our dogs were brutal. Because it was a chain link fence and they could see everybody and everybody got barked at. I'm
That's
like,
their
Diesel,
job.
Diesel, the guy just walked by. You just saw him a minute ago. Why are you barking at him? Shut up.
My dog yells at the Amazon guy all the time.
Does she?
Yeah, my
Well, we're getting our
baby.
we're getting our fence fixed Saturday finally. We're getting the gate put back up because we had the retention wall built, so we had to take the
Is it
fence down.
done?
It's not one side, not the big side, the little side. And now we're
When's he
getting
doing a little
now
big
now
side?
it's going through permitting.
Oh,
That one we had an engineer had to get involved. That was ridiculous. I mean,
that's gonna be great
I
though.
got to sell children to get that thing paid off. But
Not
we're
the
actually
doggies though.
no, no, not my babies. Maybe Boz, whatever. No, just
No,
kidding.
Boz is
Boz is my
cool.
babe. Actually, I want to take him up to North Carolina. We're going to go up and Lori and I are part owners of a wedding venue in North
Yeah,
Carolina.
when are you going up there?
Maybe around Thanksgiving to go check it out. Watch, and but I want to bring Boz with me so he can run out. They've got turkey, they got toms, and I don't know what do they call female turkey? Hens?
Geese.
The geese is not a turkey. Geese is a
It's
goose.
not.
That's what the
Oh.
Haitians are killing in Springfield.
Oh my God, they're eating the dogs.
No dogs, just geese and cats. Meow. Um, no. I think they call them hens, toms and hens.
Oh, okay.
And my buddy who owns the joint, I mean, we're partners with him, but we own a very small percentage of it. But he's like, dude, you got to bring your dogs up here. They'll chase the turkeys. They'll have a blast. I'm like,
Oh, they would love that. I wonder if they'll catch
Boz will get
one.
the turkey, but he said the turkeys are as big as my dogs. They're giant.
Boz will
So,
still get one.
oh yeah,
He won't be mad.
I don't know. They're not
That's
his.
it
They're
for the
wild. They're
turkey.
wild turkeys.
Oh,
I'll be like,
because if
dude,
Boz gets them,
I'll be like, Boz, go get me dinner.
no, Boz will have nothing left to feed you.
I don't know what he'll do. You know what? He's never caught a squirrel. He tries. Boy, howdy, one almost fell the other day. He jumped from the fence and hit the
Mia tries
tree.
that.
He hit the tree and he was swinging and it was hilarious. I thought that squirrel was done for because Diesel and Boz were just waiting there chomping at the bit. But no, he got away. But no, they've never caught any animals, so I don't know. Actually, a possum came in my backyard and played dead. And Prince didn't know what to do. I didn't let Boz out because Boz probably would have went and messed him up. And possums are good. I don't have a problem with possums. They eat ticks, they eat fleas, they don't get rabies.
Boz would have messed him up.
Yeah, Boz ain't scared. So this is hilarious though. So the possum plays dead and Prince is all like, I don't know what to do. Diesel just walks by, he doesn't care. And then so they come in the house, and then the possum, I thought the possum left, but he wasn't. He was hiding behind the tree in the back. And so they went out and he was back there. And then the possum's now up on his back legs, hissing at him, like wanting to fight, you know? And Prince, the big mean Rottweiler, runs away and comes back in the house. Diesel walks over, barks at him, and then peed on him.
Are
I
you
was like, dude,
serious?
you're the best. I love that dog. He just lifted his leg and squirted on him. He's like, yeah, hiss it. He's
Man,
like, hiss at me, boy. It was awesome.
oh,
I was like, Diesel, you're the best. He
Prince would have
wasn't
ate
gonna,
his ass, right?
no, Prince was scared of him.
He was.
Yeah, Boz would have tore him up though. Boz don't mess around. But I finally got Diesel in the house. I said, let the freaking possum go. And the possum finally got under the fence in 86th. He got out. So yeah, yeah. So we got the big venture done here at the house. We're back with 3 weeks. We were in the Airbnb. Nice people. They took care of us, let us stay there with the dogs.
Give
We
him
went
a
we went
shout
through a
out.
hurricane. Dude, they had the world's smallest shower in the master bedroom. I literally had to step out to turn around. It was so tiny.
That's hilarious.
I know. As I came home, we came home Wednesday because the hurricane was coming. I know my house, and normally we don't lose power. So I was like, let's go back to the house. I know it's not done. We don't have a kitchen. There's nothing there. Nothing was done. Lorian didn't really get the surprise ruined. So we came back and then our power goes out. We're out with 36 hours, which put the whole job on hold for 5 days.
I can't wait to see the other retention wall. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. 12 foot. Well, it's 6 foot high, but they got to pound 12 foot into the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait till you see the patio. The patio's not
I
done yet.
saw it on the
No.
pictures.
The patio's not done.
Oh,
We're getting the patio done. They're gonna
nice.
level it because it drains the wrong way, and they're gonna put pavers on it and knock one of the retention walls down, and yeah,
It's going to be great.
it's gonna be awesome. Like Lorianne said, why not? We don't ever go anywhere else but our patio. So
That's
I got our nice
beautiful.
fire pit now, one of those gas
Yeah, I
ones,
saw
the
that.
table. Yeah,
I
yeah,
loved it.
yeah. So we'll just sit out there with the dogs and relax. Now would be the time to start smoking cigars, but I don't want to.
Don't start.
No,
Don't do it.
no. You know what? I remember the one thing about cigars and cigarettes, but really anything I smoked makes you spit. You get cotton mouth and
Yeah,
you
it
get
makes your
spit.
breath stink.
Yeah, and you smell. Your clothes stink.
Yeah, don't do it.
No offense to any of you smokers out there. If you want to smoke, smoke. Go ahead. I don't care. I'm not one of those ex-smokers. I don't preach. I don't care.
I
I
don't
quit.
either.
I
Just
quit
glad.
20 years ago, and I'm glad.
Glad to be
There was
done.
a time in my life that I don't remember a day without having a cigarette. Now there's a time in my life I don't remember having a cigarette.
I liked smoking, but I wouldn't
I
start
did.
again for the
That
life of
was the
me.
whole thing. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're addicted." I go, "No, I like it.
I liked
I
it.
enjoyed
It
it.
was relaxing.
I'd have a good meal and then you sit back and have a smoke."
I loved it. But
Now I
no
think
more.
back and go, "That was terrible."
Yes.
Hopefully my lungs are back to being pink and healthy.
Hopefully.
We'll
Or
find
something else
out.
to go. We will.
Well, we will Sunday. And then you got my father. Never smoked a day in his life. Never had a drink. I think he tried a cigarette once when he was like,
He never drank?
no, no, he was very anti-alcohol. Wouldn't even allow it. Like people bring over wine for my mom for, Christmas or something. He'd make him take it, get it out of my house. Yeah,
Wow.
he was strict. Now my mom likes to drink wine. She's a boozer.
She's a boozer.
She would straight punch me in the mouth for saying it. She likes to have a glass of wine every now and then. Hey, good
Mama
for her. She's
said it.
90 years old. She could do shots of tequila. I don't care.
Yeah.
Could you see my mom getting hammered?
No, you can't see it.
I went out to dinner one night with her back when this is when I was living up there. So this was back in 06, 05, 06. So I was still drinking. And we went out to dinner and she orders a glass of wine. So I order a beer. She kind of looks at me and I go, if you're having wine, I'm having beer. She goes, well, it's about time. I was like, what the heck? She's like, you're an adult. You can drink a beer if you want to. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you
All right.
had your
Well,
dad think you're
my
thinking,
my father would have punched me in the face. You're
yeah,
having what at my table? What? I'm paying for what?
he
Get out
wouldn't
of
have had
here.
it.
No, it'd have been bad. But anyway, so what was I saying about smoking though?
We're done, but we did like it. We enjoyed it.
We did. So if you smoke, I'm not one of those people who preaches. I don't care if you smoke. I don't care.
No.
I don't like it. I don't like the smell anymore. It gives me a headache. I get a headache. I sat in that cigar bar for like 2 hours with my buddy. Dude, my head was throbbing. I came home. I told my
Got
wife,
a
I said, I
headache.
smell like a cigar. She's like, I don't really smell it. I'm like, oh, I can smell it. For 2 days, I smelled it. Yeah. So I don't miss those days. You know what I don't miss? Waking up at 7 o'clock because I got to go to work by 9 and getting a shower and having the detox shakes going on.
Oh, yeah, that's that
That
whole,
was not fun.
oh,
That's why
and the
I
whole,
loved when I was in the restaurant business. Everybody couldn't figure it out because I was the GM. Why I always closed because I liked working nights. I wanted to sleep all day.
yeah, I don't sleep all day, but I do like working nights. But I hated wait. The few times I opened, whenever I was never the GM, but the few times I opened,
Yeah, everybody's like, you know what GM stands for? I'm like, what? They're like, good morning. I'm like, not for me.
no,
It stands for
I do
great,
not.
great
That's why I couldn't
manager.
do it. I couldn't do
Stands
it.
for great manager.
Days were never for me.
No, and then all the action happened at night. The
Yeah,
daytime guy had to do the ordering, had to put
all
the inventory
paperwork.
away, all that paperwork. Baloney. I gave it to my AGM. I said, dude, you run days. He thought it was awesome. He loved it.
Right.
I
Some
come
people
in,
really like
I
days,
come
not
in at
me.
9 and I'm out of here by 6. I'm like, okay, dude.
Not for me.
I come in at 3 and I'm out by 3. I don't care.
Yeah, because you had your whole day to yourself. You could sleep or you could do something, ride a bike.
Right? You know what I did though? One of the jobs I had when I worked for Full Sail, I was the chief of security there. And yes, people, I've had many jobs. They call me the
Me
Zach of all
too.
trades, but I've supported my family and did well for myself. So,
Me
and if
too.
I hadn't, I always say this, my dad taught at the same high school for 40 years. I don't think I could take a job for 40 years.
No, that would be boring.
But imagine not the stuff I wouldn't know if I hadn't done everything I've done. Because people are
That's
like,
why
how'd
we
you
make
become a
such a
finance?
great show.
Right. Well, people go, how'd you become a finance manager? How'd you become a general manager? They threw me in the job. I told them I knew how to do it, and then I learned. I was
That's why we make
laughing. My contractor here was here the other day, and I was like, dude, how'd you learn how to do this? This is pretty good stuff. He goes, I watched the video on YouTube. I'm like, okay. He's like, last night I watched the video last night. I'm like, great.
just last night. Now
I
I'm
guess
really
my
good
my
at it.
cabinets are gonna fall down. Oh boy. No, but no, listen. So I did a lot of things. But anyway, I was the chief of security at Full Sail, and I came up with a schedule for the guys that they loved. We would do 4 10-hour days, off for 3, then 3 12-hour days, off for 4. It's the greatest shift ever.
I bet they love that.
I would most of them would get part-time jobs because they wanted to make more money. Now I didn't. I worked did I work Monday through Friday? No, I worked weekends. So there was two, it was really weird. There was like the daytime chief and then there was me, the nighttime chief. But we were both he was the security manager and I was the chief, but we were the same thing. Whatever. They gave him that because he had been there so long, but they gave me the title because I knew what I was doing. And and he would work Monday through Friday and I would work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'd have Thursday and Friday off, or no, I'd have Monday and Tuesday off. That's what it was. Monday and Tuesday off, and then I worked, Wednesday through Sunday. That's what it was. And because I knew that managers had to be on the weekends, because that's when when the cat's away, the mice will play. So that's another reason I used to work the
The
night shift in the
nights.
restaurant business because they never knew when I was working. Nobody ever saw my schedule. Only managers knew manager schedule. Nobody knew who was working and what managers were on. Then they kind of caught the whiff of it because they knew, oh, the A team's working, so Zach's here. Because I'd always put the best servers on when I was there because I didn't want to deal with no baloney.
No, that was good. When you had good servers, you didn't have to do nothing. Good servers could
No.
run the whole show.
Did you ever have server that you'd have to tell go get high because they were better when they were stoned? I had a
No,
server.
I never said it, but I thought it.
I had a server. He was having a really crappy night, and I was like, "Dude, did you get high today?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Go smoke." He's like, "For real?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, you suck tonight." And he came back and he was on fire.
I never said it, but I have thought it. I have seen it.
And then I had bartenders who would do Xanny, and that was just complete opposite. No, they
I've
were
had
horrible.
that
I'm like,
too.
you gotta
Yeah,
go. You're back
yeah.
here
I
nodding
had that
off,
a manager
pouring a
one time,
Jack
and
and
I was
Coke
the
and nodding off.
I had a man. I worked with a manager. He was all messed up. I was the sir. I was the bartender that night. I was just filling in for bartender, and I had to send him home and do everything,
You
cash
ever screw up and
everybody
not?
out.
You ever screw up and forget to put in a bartender that's supposed to work like the swing shift? They work the mid where they cover when the day shift leaves, the night shift isn't there yet.
Yeah,
So I forgot to put them on one time, so I had to be a bartender.
I've bartended plenty. Yeah, that's fine with me.
I was a nice guy though. I gave all the servers my tips. I didn't care.
I didn't. I was
Oh,
happy with the extra money.
well, I learned later. I started keeping my tips. I worked at a couple different restaurants where I'd have to pull shifts.
Yeah,
When I worked for Bonnet Creek, and I ran the all the outside bars and restaurants, all the little what are they called? Like the pizza bar and anyway, it was all the little restaurants.
yeah. The,
It
the
wasn't the main
kiosks,
restaurants. It was all anyway.
kiosks.
Yeah, whatever they were. Anyway, and there was times I'd go down and like the pizza bar, the pool bar was getting slammed, and I jumped behind the bar. And dude, we had this big Turkish bartender. I can't remember his name, but he was great. And I'd be back there slinging drinks. I would do all the easy stuff, beers and glass of wine. And then I started learning how to make martinis and this, that, and the other thing. And you know, and he would tip me out. I'm like, bro. He's like, no, no, no. You saved my butt. Here, tip me
Yeah,
out.
that's nice.
Yeah. And then I worked at
That's
another when
nice.
I helped open my friends open up Wakaiva Island, and they hired me on as the manager. But I had to work I had worked the bar shift. And that I kept my tips.
Hell yeah.
That was
Yeah.
all my money.
I always
So
kept
I
my
would come
money.
home and I had envelopes and I put my money in for certain, these are for bills, this is for fun, this is for this, for church, whatever. And then plus I got a paycheck. And I
I
was living
always
large.
if I even if I took
They were paying me
tables.
like 36 grand a year. This is what, 20 years ago. And then I was making tips and I didn't claim tips. There you go, Mr. IRS. Come find me. I didn't claim my tips. They went home. And then when I was first dating Lorianne, I worked for Route 46. Remember that place?
Yes.
It's gone.
It's gone. They knocked it down, right?
Yeah, it's a Enterprise rent a car.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, it's an Enterprise rent a car, and they knocked it down. But anyway, I was there, and Lorianne learned my little hiding spot for my cash when when I would get tipped out, and I'd go looking up it. Dude, what happened to my money? She's like, I
I
need it from.
found it.
She's like, yeah, some hiding spot. Like I was like, I know. In my wallet behind my driver's license. That's where I keep it. But those were
I
the good old
found it.
days. I loved it. So, all right. So we dove into a little bit. We're trying to stay off. Look, we got the election coming up.
We're gonna get deep into it again, but right
We're
now, today
gonna.
was a
All right, hey,
fun
so
night.
you know what? On election night, are you and I going to do a live
I would
broadcast?
like
And
to, but it's a Tuesday. So let me see if I can
oh,
trade
you're
it.
working.
I would like to,
Are you going to
but
vote
we'll have
early?
plenty to talk about if we do it on
Are
Wednesday.
you going to vote early?
I am.
So I did my mail-in ballot, and I'm going to go vote. Did you
Me
hear it?
too.
Did you hear in California it's illegal to ask for voter ID?
I did not hear that.
Yeah, it's a new law.
Really?
Yep. Communist state, the great communist state of California.
You know what they say? If common sense, if something makes sense, they don't listen in California.
No.
This is what I will say on that topic. And like you said, we kept it off politics tonight. Let's keep it. I will say this:
Well,
no
we did
matter
talk
what
about the two
happens,
amendments, but was that really political, or was
no,
that
no, that
merely
was really
merely
constructive. I think it
lifestyle?
needed some. I think if anybody watches this, there's some clarity because a lot of times on amendments there is no clarity.
That
So
was the
whether
whole
we,
point. That was the whole
right,
point of
I
DeSantis's
don't
town
know,
hall
we did
meeting.
sort of agree, but the clarity was the important part of the piece. That,
Yeah,
and I like that.
that was DeSantis's whole reasoning for the town hall
But I wasn't
because
invited. I wasn't
because
invited.
you're a
So
Democrat.
there is some bipartisanship there. It's kind of odd that you were and I wasn't.
You're a Democrat.
But so I will say this. I want to make this one statement. We're not going political tonight. The amendments were not political at all. They were constructive. No matter what happens, I will support the election results. I'm not asking
No,
you.
no,
You're
I'm burning down buildings.
right. I just said I'm not asking. I'm not discussing. We could
There'll
do
be
that
there will
next
be
week.
looting and rioting in the streets of
Absolutely,
Zach's
there can
world.
be, and there will be, and there may be, and there should be, and there may should not be. I'm just saying, me personally, me thinking out loud, me making a commitment to anybody that watches this, I support the election results.
If I'm watching the election with you, and let's just say, and I'm not predicting anything, okay? Let's just say Trump is way, way ahead. And then we go to bed, and suddenly she gets 80 million votes.
Well, we've
I think we're
actually
gonna have
had
a
this
problem.
convers. We've actually had this conversation. You call it Clinton News Network. CNN has Jonathan King,
The
and he
Communist
does the
News
map.
Network.
He does the map. And he shows certain counties that are not accounted for yet. And he says these are highly Democratic counties. These could account for enough votes to be a win. It, I
Oh,
I
and you know what? We didn't talk politics, but maybe we'll save this for the next show. But I got an email. I subscribe to a couple different emails. This is a funny one. It's called Bubba News, and it's pretty fair and balanced because they talk from both sides. They look at both sides of everything, and they showed how messed up the media is right now. And they were showing polls on different channels and how they're completely like how are these polls like completely opposite of each
well,
other?
polling. Everybody's saying polling's a hard business now. It's not.
The
It's
only poll
not
you should use is a fishing pole.
exactly. That's a
Exactly.
good idea.
Right? My son likes to fish now. He takes my granddaughter fishing.
One of the most respected
Keep
polls
your lungs in your
is.
chest, would you there, buddy? You feeling better, by the way?
I'm getting better.
Are the drugs working?
They are working.
How many steroids are on you? Because you don't look like Hulk Hogan yet.
Three. It didn't help. No Popeye. No Popeye for me.
You didn't.
Nope. No Popeye. No, it didn't work. Let's leave it. I think we're gonna get into this political thing. Let's do this next week.
Right, 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 right. But I want to. I'm going to forward you this email.
Send it to me. I want to subscribe, no less.
Bubba News.
Send it to me right away.
You
I'm
know,
gonna
you know,
subscribe.
you're in the South when they got Bubba News.
I'm gonna subscribe, brother. You know me.
Just like people should do to our show.
Yes.
They should subscribe,
Like,
like,
share,
share,
comment, subscribe. Tell us who's the idiot and who's the genius. Or are we both geniuses?
or are we both idiots? We want to know. We
We
want to
do
know what
want to
you want to
know.
hear. Because you know what? Once the election's over, We're still
We're
going to
gonna
be
be
political
talking
no-brainer, but we got to talk about things.
a lot of things. We
I
did tonight.
really, you know what? I really need to think we need to get in the dark side and get into the
I think so
conspiracy stuff.
too.
I think we need to really dive into that. Have you watched any of that show I sent you? Ninjas or butterflies or
I've been
ninjas?
watching it.
Aren't they cool?
Today you gave me a new assignment. Read up on the amendments. You keep me busy. You send me a lot of Instagram stuff too.
I'm gonna send it to our Gmail, which is Trippy and Zach. T R
Send it to
I
me.
P
Yeah,
P
send it to me
I.
so I can get in there.
Hold on, I'm telling the people who are
Oh, I'm
listening.
sorry. I'm sorry.
If you guys want to email us, you can reach us at TRIPPINZAK show at Gmail. Trippy and Zach. Trippy is with an I, not a Y.
Trippy is with an I, just like you
Except for
said,
my phone, it's with a
TRIPPI.
Y. Because your eyes
And
messed up.
remember, the tagline, which will be posted soon, is join the conversation. So email us if you want to join the conversation.
There you go. I just sent you some stuff.
I will get into it.
I
I'm
got to
gonna
give
go
a shout
downstairs.
out to our friends because we don't have any sponsors yet. But hey,
Hey, Turbo Tint.
we would like a sponsor.
We love Bucky's.
And what's in my cup?
Vodka.
Oh yes. No,
Bubbly.
it's
Buble.
bubbly. It's actually this is
LaCroix.
called the no, this is bubbly. It's Bellini Bliss.
Bellini Bliss.
It's so yum. It's
I'm gonna pick up
delicious.
some Buble tomorrow. It's my
Michael Bublé.
shopping day.
I wonder, Michael, he'd be a cool guy to hang out with, I think. Um, yes, let's talk to about our friend Turbo Tint, our very good friend Derek Heisinga. Did you see the pictures of my wife's car?
Yes, they looked
The
beautiful. Well, the
paint
car
looked
is
like it
beautiful
was
too.
dripping wet. It was the
It was
detail job that
amazing.
his store did. They not only do they do tint, so go on down and show them your tint. Um, they do detailing and ceramic, this ceramic sports coat or whatever. And I don't have to do it like every 6 months. He says I should probably get it done or every year. I don't remember, but it's got a 6 to 12 month warranty on it. It's phenomenal. I'm getting my truck done. Lorian's going to get my truck done for my birthday.
It looked beautiful. It really did.
My truck is going to look spectacular because it's dirty right now because I've been driving in the dirt.
Dirt.
It's what it's for. I got a big old truck. What are you
Yeah,
going to do? My truck is bigger than yours.
it certainly is.
So Turbo Tint in Orlando. They're down there on the OBT, down on the Trizzle. And for all of those people who are not from Orlando, Orange Blossom Trail or the Trail or OBT, all the same,
South.
where you can get great deals at the mall or drugs or hookers, whatever you want. They're there.
One stop shopping.
People think I'm joking. Go drive the trail. Trust me on a
I
Friday
know you're
night.
not joking. I'm there a lot.
And then there's the that hotel right there by I-4 that where they all the East Coast pornography is filmed in that hotel.
Are you serious?
That's what I was told. Yeah.
On I-4.
No, the one right when you get off the OBT by 37th.
Really?
Yeah, there's a little hotel there and they say, yeah, I used to deliver water there and they told me what happened in that joint.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And then I had a guy who lived behind it who was a drug dealer and he had to pay cash. And he told me that I was the only white man allowed on his street because I brought his water. He was a nice guy. He had big freaking dogs. They were like, they were probably King Corsos. Now that I know what King Corsos are, this is 30 years ago, and he had like guards there with him. I mean, yeah, you know what he was doing. He was
Oh
an
yeah.
entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
He
A
was
Republican.
a street pharmacist, as they call it. But he was a good guy. He liked me. He called me the Waterman, white man, Waterman, whatever. It's cool. So you go down to OBT, get off I-4, or actually go down to I-4 to Sand Lake to OBT, or just get off OBT on I-4. Either way, and let's go down and you'll see Turbo Tint down there. The place is amazing. You know what? I'm gonna have to next time I go there, I'm gonna video it
Video
and
it and
I'm gonna
post it
show
up.
everybody, dude. The showroom when you go inside, it's like you're sitting
I saw
in
your
a
car parked on the
that's in the shop.
right.
But in the showroom, like where you sit and wait, it's like a palace. I mean, he's got drink. You can have beers there. I told him about you like to have beer for breakfast with your mom. I said you can
I
come here and have
do.
beer.
I
We
did
dropped off
today.
the car. It was 9 a.m. and there's you could have a beer. But
I love it.
yeah, Derek
My
will take care.
barber
You tell
too.
him go in there and you tell him Zach sent you, and he will give you a smile at least. I don't know if he'll give you any deal, but he'll give you a smile.
He don't need to give you you get what you pay for. He's
Yeah,
worth it.
trust and believe. My wife's car is amazing,
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 beautiful. I
totally.
saw it. I think
Yes,
we should do just that. Post some video of it.
yeah. I'm gonna go down and visit him one of these.
Shout out
Well,
to local businessmen. We need to
we
start
won't be
doing
here
that.
next week
No, you will not.
because I'll be in
You are going to
Arizona.
enjoy a nice vacation.
Yeah, and I'm not bringing my computer
No,
because you know
enjoy
what'll
your
happen. I'll
vacation.
start working when I'm out there.
Do not.
No, Lorianne will hit me in the head.
All right,
So we're
brother.
going to Phoenix, and then we got to give a shout out to Profit and Paradox, another
Profit
great
and bearing.
podcast. Check it out with my boy Daniel Quijano, Daniel Q in the house. He did a live show the other day during the debate. They watched the debate and talked about it while they were doing it. It's pretty cool. And then he did a show. He him and his friend, his co-host, whose name is slipping my mind right now, Jonah. Jonah, yeah,
Jonah.
Jonah, yeah. They did a show about why Jonah believes Trump is a dictator, and it was the debate of the century. It was pretty good.
We got to get Daniel back. Daniel Q back on. We have
Yeah.
stuff to discuss. He left me with an assignment. I want to discuss it.
Okay. We'll get him back on. But yeah, big shout out to him. Another shout out to my business if you'd like some
Fence.
if you live in Orlando and need a fence. Um,
Oh,
got backup.
got backup.
Yeah. If you need backup for your computer, why spend money for Dropbox or any of those other ones when you can go to Got Backup? It's $9 a month. So go to it's zaxworld.gotbackup.com. I'll post it in the thing. You'll see it.
Yep. Please.
Check it out. It's really a good deal. I have it on all my computers. I have tons of room and space and everything is saved. It's in the cloud. I don't know how the cloud works. Nobody knows how the cloud works, but it's in the cloud.
I was just gonna ask that, but I'll leave it.
Do you know how the cloud works?
I don't.
No, me neither. And I'm pretty much a genius.
And I too am a genius because we're both geniuses.
That's right. We do this show. We're going to do this for a living, guys. You guys got to support us and keep watching, supporting,
We need
sharing,
support
liking, loving us, giving us grief, whatever. Ask questions. There is no question we won't read.
and out loud and try to
I
answer.
don't know about all that. There might be a
Oh, I don't
question.
know. They can't
Yeah,
guarantee it,
yeah, I
but
can't. But there's no question I won't read. I may
send
make
them
fun of
in.
you.
Send
You
them in.
know, I'm gonna start sending in questions, and I'm gonna do like David Letterman and toss the cards off my desk when I'm done with him. That was
I love
great.
that show. I
Yeah.
absolutely
You
love
know who
that
my
show.
favorite nighttime host was, and he never got really famous, was the Late Late Show with Greg Ferguson. Craig Ferguson,
Oh, I never.
the Irish guy.
Yeah,
He's
but they
hilarious.
had the other one that was really good. Another Irishman, orange hair,
No, that's Conan O'Brien.
Conan
No,
O'Brien. He
Craig
was
Ferguson
fabulous.
was the guy from the Drew Carey show. He was Drew Carey's boss.
Right. He didn't
Right.
ever take
Anyway,
off.
he did a great late night show. So when I worked at the timeshare place that I ran the food and beverage for, why am I drawing a blank? Bonnet Creek. When I worked there, I would get off and his show was just coming on. I would sit in the break room and watch it because I was wired. You know, I couldn't go home and just go to sleep. So I'd sit there and watch it for a while and eat my dinner at 2 o'clock in the morning. And oh my gosh, whenever Robin Williams was on it, it was hilarious.
Wow, Robin Williams.
Yeah, he
He
was the
was
best.
awesome.
So anyway, guys, thanks for dealing with us tonight, just babbling. Sometimes we like to just be real and talk about ourselves and make fun of ourselves because
We were out there.
we were interesting.
We
We were
were.
tripping. That's why he's
Peace and
trippy.
love.
He's over here. Or is he over here? Is he down here? I don't
We
know
were
where he
out
is.
there. We were everywhere.
Yeah.
Omnipresent.
But listen, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, do anything. We love you. Thanks for watching. And until next time, we won't be here next week. Maybe.
Let me know. I'll be here.
Maybe. Maybe. Maybe I'll call in from my phone.
I'm in.
I did that on Daniel's show one time.
I'm in,
I
brother.
sat on my couch and did it from the phone.
Call me. Tell
We'll
me.
we'll figure it out, but we're definitely going to see if you can get that Tuesday the 6th off so we can do a
I'm
live.
gonna try and trade.
We'll do a live show. We'll watch. We'll somehow. I got to learn how to do it, but I'll put the debate, the election here. See if we get two screens going. We'll have CNN and Fox and see which which way it's going. Do you know how to do it?
Yeah, let me know.
You don't know how to do it.
I don't know, but we will figure it out.
Check out that email I sent you too.
I got it. I'm going in a minute.
Oh, I just opened it. But anyway, it's there. You'll see it.
I'll find it.
All right, guys. Love you. We're done.
Love you.
Peace.
Peace.